She expected me to snap. Maybe shout, throw something, fall to my knees and demand answers. But instead, I smiled and slowly dismantled everything she threw away when she betrayed me. Hey friends, if you're enjoying these stories, help support the channel by subscribing and turning on the bell. Let's hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Thanks. Now, let's get into it. I met Claire when I was 28. She was 25. At the time, I worked as a systems analyst at a finance company in downtown Chicago. I was the dependable type, structured, steady, and to some, painfully dull. Claire was the opposite. She brought chaos wrapped in charm. Her world was full of vibrant designs, eccentric clients, and buzzing creativity. She made her living in interior design, and her energy seemed magnetic to everyone around her. I was drawn to how different we were. It felt like we filled each other's gaps. After a year of dating, we moved in together. I bought a condo, and she transformed it into something that actually felt alive. I paid the bills and mortgage. She took care of making our space warm and beautiful. We fell into an easy rhythm. I left early each morning for work, while she usually slept in and started her day later. My evenings ended before hers did. I'd cook dinner, and she'd light candles. We had balance. Or so I believed. The early signs didn't shout. They whispered. A text she hurriedly dismissed when I passed by. A stiff laugh before she stepped out of the room to take a call. Sudden, late-night meetings with new clients that never existed before. But I told myself not to be that guy, the jealous one, always doubting, always questioning. So I let the unease slide, until I couldn't. It all began to unravel on a Wednesday. I'd had a last-minute meeting cancelled and decided to head home early to surprise her. When I walked in, the place was quiet. Her purse sat on the counter, and her phone was plugged in, charging in the kitchen. She was home. I called out. No reply. Upstairs, the door to our bedroom hung slightly open. I pushed it gently and froze. Inside, the closet door was ajar, and standing halfway inside was a man, only partially dressed, motionless and silent. He didn't speak. Neither did I. Then Claire stepped out of the bathroom, wearing nothing but a robe, and stopped cold when she saw me. The color drained from her face, not because I yelled. I didn't say a word. I turned around, walked out the front door, and drove until daylight faded. That night, she flooded my phone with calls, messages, voicemails. Please talk to me. It's not what it looks like. I made a mistake. I didn't respond. But I heard every word. And I started planning. The next morning, I showed up to work like any other day. Smiled at coworkers. Replied to emails. But inside, I was elsewhere, completely detached. I opened a new bank account and quietly moved half of our savings into it. I rented a P.O. box, changed all passwords to our financial apps and accounts, and removed her name from everything joint. I wasn't impulsive. I was precise. I made copies of every document, mortgage paperwork, car titles, even the page from our prenup where she'd acknowledged the infidelity clause. She never paid attention to it back then. Didn't even remember we had one. But we did. My lawyer insisted on it when I bought the condo, and Claire signed it casually. We were in love. What could possibly go wrong? Everything, apparently. For 2 weeks, I pretended to be the hurt, uncertain husband. Told her I needed time. Said I was staying with a friend. Meanwhile, she sobbed over the phone, begged me to talk. I said I'd consider it. While she sat in guilt, I was in meetings with attorneys, quietly laying foundations, collecting proof. She never updated her iCloud permissions, so every message she sent and received synced automatically to our shared iPad at home. I saw it all. The crude texts, the jokes, the plans to keep sneaking around until things calmed down. They assumed I'd stay blind, that even if I found out, I'd forgive. They were wrong. When everything was in place, I invited her to dinner. I made her favorite meal, lit candles, poured the wine she loved. She believed it was a turning point, that we were trying again. She smiled across the table and said, "I'm really glad we're fixing this." I nodded, then handed her an envelope. "What's this?" she asked. My attorney's info, I said calmly. And a list of what you'll be leaving with. She laughed, thinking it was a joke. I didn't laugh back. She opened it. Her face went pale. You're divorcing me, she whispered. I nodded. With cause. But you said we were okay. No, I interrupted. You assumed I was okay. I didn't yell. I didn't even speak. I just sat there, calm, still. That silence hit her harder than any outburst ever could. Then the tears came. Real ones this time. Not the kind meant to sway sympathy, but the kind born of collapse. She said she could change. That it was a mistake. A phase. That it hadn't meant anything. But it meant enough for you to lie over and over again, I told her. You can't rebuild trust with the same person who shattered it. At first, she fought back, said I was cold, calculated, heartless. But the prenup didn't flinch. The receipts didn't lie. Turns out, the man she cheated with had a wife of his own. When I handed her the screenshots, she filed for divorce too, and used everything I gave her. Claire and her affair partner both lost their jobs. Her design firm dropped her the minute it hit the rumor mill. She moved back in with her parents. I guess I did the same, in my own way, retreating into quiet. For a while, she still called. Left voicemails. Apologized once, maybe twice. Then she stopped trying, just sent one last message. Hope you're doing okay. I didn't answer. I didn't feel anything. But her face still hung around the corners of my thoughts. Not because I missed her, I didn't. But because I never got to say all the things I'd bottled up. The grief. The rage. The hollow ache. So I wrote. Every day, I spilled it onto paper. I refused to bleed my pain into someone else. Instead, I poured it into myself. Therapy. The gym. Cooking my own meals. Actually sleeping. I chased discipline, not to control life, but to rebuild trust in myself. To remind myself that I could survive anything. Even betrayal from the one person I believed in most. I started reconnecting with people I'd drifted from, spent weekends with my brother's kids, called my mother more. Life slowed down, softened, got quieter. But in that stillness, it deepened. I wasn't chasing anymore. I was building. I remember the first time I laughed again, really laughed. I was sitting at a small cafe, watching two college kids argue passionately about superhero movies. Their raw joy, the absence of cynicism, it hit something in me. It reminded me of the person I'd been once. And I smiled. Then laughed. And in that moment I knew. I was healing. Months later, I met someone new. Her name was Emily. We met at the gym. She was grounded, steady. We started chatting between sets. Then coffee. Then dinner. She didn't interrogate my past. Didn't push. Didn't hurry. She simply left the door open and let me walk through when I was ready. One night, I told her everything. About Claire. The cheating. The fallout. I braced for discomfort. Rejection. Distance. But she just looked at me and said, I don't care what happened back then. I care how you carried yourself through it. That was the night I understood. Love doesn't have to hurt to be real. A few weeks ago, Claire texted again. Said she'd heard I was seeing someone. Said she was happy for me. I didn't believe her, but I didn't reply either. Because peace doesn't beg to be seen. And when you've rebuilt yourself from dust, you stop accepting fragments of what once destroyed you. Not long after that, Claire's sister called. She sounded worried. Said Claire had been drinking more. Said she wasn't doing well. That she missed me. I thanked her, politely. Ended the call. Not to be cruel. Just clear. Healing doesn't mean I carry what someone else dropped. Still, curiosity nudged me. I looked her up. Her social media was gone. Most of our mutual friends had cut ties. Her profile had vanished from the design firm's website. Someone told me she was bartending part-time on the north side. And one night, without planning to, I walked into that bar. Her shift was just ending. She spotted me instantly. We locked eyes. She froze. You look good, she said quietly. I feel good, I replied. She stepped around the bar, nervously fixing her hair. Could we talk? Just for a few minutes. I nodded. We walked outside. I know I hurt you, she began. And I don't expect anything. I miss you. Not the stuff. Not the place. Just you. And for the first time, I really listened. Not for reconciliation, but for closure. I'm not angry anymore, I told her. But I can't go back. Not because I hate you, but because I spent too long building a version of myself that finally respects who I am. She nodded slowly. I get it. I really do. I hope you're happy. I am. We said goodbye. No hug. No promises. Just a quiet moment that finally meant something. Since then, Emily and I have only grown stronger. We hike on weekends. Talk about the tough stuff without fear. Sometimes we just sit in silence, and it's the safest place I've ever known. This isn't just a story about betrayal. It's about rebirth. About watching the old version of yourself burn, and choosing to rise from the ashes. Because sometimes, the most powerful form of revenge isn't revenge at all. It's peace.